I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is, working with the cheapest guy available, right? I think you got to look at this kind of like how you look at your own body and, find somebody that's trusted, but also knows their job very well, right? These are obviously living organisms and you got to treat them as such, right? The biggest mistake that a lot of people do is just go with a lawn care guy or a yard guy that doesn't necessarily know how to trim a tree properly, not even to diagnose a tree if it's in bad conditions or in bad health, So it's very important for you to get somebody of quality, but also, somebody that is willing to treat your tree as if it was theirs as well.
They get opinions from landscaping companies. They don't go to the right people. The right people is a certified arborist. That's who we are. A tree doctor. They get opinions, they rush it, they remove a tree just because the tree is interfering with the property or the roots. That's the worst mistake. The worst mistake is making sure that if somebody tells you you have to remove the tree, it has to be from an expertise that's an arborist, a tree doctor, a tree company, not a yard guy, not a landscaping company. Make sure somebody is fully licensed as a tree doctor.
Where first and foremost is always an appearance to the house, right? You always want to make sure that your house looks good. But the thing that we look at is safety as well, It's very important to get them trimmed regularly because we have a lot of storms, especially in the Houston area. Especially in the last years, we've had plenty of big storms, random storms at most. When you trim your trees properly, you have somebody that trims them correctly, more importantly, then you're just minimizing those issues, right? It usually become bigger issues, holes in the house, trees on the houses, So by you trimming regularly, kind of avoiding all those items, right? You're just making sure that you're gonna have a seamless storm process. Yeah, we usually call them wounds on trees. The biggest factor there is you not affecting the tree in a negative way, right? It is great that you trim a tree, but aftercare is also very important.
Trees is really important to cover the wounds. Once they cut them fresh, it's really important to spray them within the next 30 or 45 minutes because you don't want to get that dry. If it gets dry, it's gonna interfere with bringing diseases, oak decline, canker. So it's really important to put a pruning seal to seal it up and to protect that wound.
An arborist is always going to give you plenty of options, right? The biggest thing in an arborist is to make sure that we preserve as much as we can, right? A lot of the times we're moving trees because they're too close to houses, and obviously some people are just going to give it your way, right? But it's also about educating our customers to make sure that they have other options, root barriers that protect your foundation. If your tree is too close, there's ways to trim it to train a tree to make sure that it grows away from the house, right? So don't always go with the first option or your first instinct. You always got to get a professional opinion to make sure that you're looking at your options to make sure that that's the route that you want to go. It's not easy to grow a tree out of the blue. Better to try and solve the issue rather than just getting rid of it.
Well, the first thing is I treat my guys like family. It's really important to ask these guys how they're doing every day because it makes them feel special. And that's what I do. I make sure that they feel special. And then at the same time, they see this as a passion, as a hobby. They don't see this like work. I don't see this like work. I see this like a passion to help my customers out. The same thing with them. They do this with passion, with love, because they actually care about the trees.